So anyway, I need to make this YouTube video, but I don't really know how to go about it.
So what?
Do you imagine weird charts and stuff when you think about things? I've heard of some people who think of numbers as their own shapes. I wish it was that easy for me. I've got a few charts that always come to mind when thinking about certain stuff, and I like to share them. I'll start with weeks and months. I want you to close your eyes and think of the days of the week and then the months of a year. Here's the image I think of when thinking of the week, such as when I'm wondering if it's trash day or not.
I'm not
as you
a
can
therapist.
see, it's pretty
This
close
isn't
to
a
a calendar.
therapist's office.
But for me, Saturday is always a bit lower than Friday, and Sunday is always under the following Monday. Pretty standard if I do say so myself. Now here's how I picture the months. It's pretty tame until you get to November, which is stacked on top of October, and December stacked on the top left side of November. When December rolls around, my mental image of the months morphs into this until February. So the new year doesn't really sink in for me until then. Now this is where it starts to get weird. The alphabet. This is how I picture the alphabet.
Fresh shit was that?
Everything is in its place and spaced just right. Don't try to match it with the song. It fits perfectly, trust me. Thinking about it, these are just symbols of sounds. There's not really a correct order they need to be in. So let's move on to the final chart. Numbers. Now I'm gonna ask you to think of the number 15. Now 26. Now 235.
How's about you think of
I'd
the
imagine you
numbers
just thought of the three
911
numbers
or perhaps
isolated
12?
and floating in the void, or maybe you even thought of three different shapes. This is a chart of how I picture numbers. As you can see, it starts slow with 1 through 5, and then a step up to 6 through 10. The teens are organized in a diagonal stair-like fashion until the 20s, where it's just rows of 10 on down. Not too crazy, right? Well, it gets much worse. I imagine numbers, for some reason, on a 3-dimensional chart, and depending on the number, I automatically place myself somewhere relative to that chart. So from 20 onwards, the numbers are like this. When I get to about 80, it's sort of like I have to look down and slightly behind me to the right. It's hard to really explain, but I can mentally turn towards the chart, and the 80s and 90s are right side up, but ascend from right to left instead of the typical left to right. 100 is special. I don't really have a set mental space for 100. 100 just pops in either above 90 or 99, wherever it feels like. My real issue with numbers comes with anything above 100. Anything above 100 looks like this. This is why it took me longer to do tests, and what caused me to go over my answers multiple times, even if things were correct. This is why I hated math. It wasn't the equations themselves, it's the mental fatigue from having to mentally turn myself upside down. I also don't see numbers as isolated images either, unless viewing them on a screen or paper. I mentally view them in their place on the 3-dimensional chart next to the number before and after them. So anything above 100 has me mentally creating 2 extra upside down numbers on top of the one that I'm supposed to be thinking of. Well, there it is. Got anything to add?
You show clear mental degeneration on top of various other concerning issues. Aside from that, this video is terrible.
I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you stuck
presented in a
around
much
this
more
long, leave a
entertaining
comment
and
telling me
informative
about
way.
any of the
I am
weird
deeply
mental charts
concerned
you
for the
have for
future
certain
of your
things.
channel as
Like
well
or
as your
dislike the
mental
video,
well-being.
subscribe
Seek
if you
help,
want,
seek God,
and
seek
I don't know
them
if I'm doing
anywhere
this
but
right,
here.
but here you go. I'm trying to get better at this whole thing, and I'm still trying to experiment with what I want to do, how I want to make videos, what kind of videos I want to make. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.